Hey, hey! Yeah, throw your hands in the air just like you don't care. Whoop! Oh, I hope you didn't hear that. Okay, here we go. So, we're back with another episode of Music Rec on Deck. And we're back with Ice Cube. Now, the crowd, just looking at the video, I'll show some clips here. But the crowd's, it's weird. It's a weird vibe, and the security guards are really into it as well. But yeah, Woodstock's getting weird. It's getting weird. Like I mentioned last video, there's a weird aura going on. People are getting pretty cranky. But continuing on, a lot of people, like there was a lot of bonfires and small fires starting to pop up. People were drinking beer, passing joints. Unfortunately, the fire crew and state troopers appeared. But they didn't really put out the fires. They were just kind of like, they sprayed them out and then turned the hose in the air for the ground. So as kids, the kids realized that there was very little consequence for their actions. So they just relit their fires or moved places and lit another fire. More and more concertgoers discovered the joys of dismantling the peace wall. So the police contemplated the proper response. A state trooper came around. He pulled over. The crowd ignored it. One of the officers called out to the wall dismantlers, "Hey, bring us a piece, would you?" So the cops are literally like, "We don't care about Woodstock 99. Hey, can you bring us a piece of that? I want to remember this." Can you imagine being like the person who's dismantling the wall and the cop's like, "Hey, can you bring me a piece?" Like, I would be like, "What? Okay, all right, sure, yeah, man." So then the man brought the officers and the cop placed the plywood in his trunk and he drove away. Yeah, that's how much people really cared at this time. Alright, so I'm talking about, I'm recommending you go listen to some Ice Cube because it's really hard. I was like, who the hell do I want to do? Because there's some really good acts. Like, Seven Dust I've never listened to them, but they're really good. And like, I would have liked to done them, but the Ice Cube's at 6:35. And I just figured to keep it in a nice order of, 12 right at the start of the day, Rusted Roots right in the middle, Ice Cube's at 6:37, so that's the evening, and then the other bands I'm doing is like the night. So it works well. Jewel is also at this time at the other stage. Actually, no, sorry. Jewel is right before Ice Cube, but on the other stage. But on that stage, there's Elvis Costello, Jewel, and Creed. Those are all good bands, but I don't know. It was the one I know most of is Ice Cube, so I decided to put on Ice Cube for a bit. And his set's short. It's probably one of the shortest sets there. It's only 45 minutes. So it's not long at all, which is just kind of cool. But it's also I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe that's just his set was short. He does all of the songs he really wants to do. But yeah. So Jewel comes on. I'm going to read until we get to Jewel. Dressed in a black tank top, and she came on at 5 p.m. There's a sign in the audience saying, "Jewel, F me now." So obviously the sexual atmosphere is still there. Still there. Yeah, she says the crowd was really weird. Like, generally when you do big shows, like, it's always a bit weird, but here people seemed really strung out, really, really tired. But she also says that people really listened. Well, really seemed to listen, at least. But yeah, like, the crowd's very tired. Like, the people have been there since Thursday. They've been partying every single day. And, like, you look around, the crowd's enjoying it, but you don't see the energy of, like, destruction and like moshing and everything, because people are just like, whew, like you see in the crowd when Ice Cube, like, they're just kind of like moving their hands and like grooving a bit, but they're not really, like, rah, Yeah, you could see that they're a little more conservative today, and there's also that weird like, or like the anger aura. um, yeah. Uh, Soon after, it rained, and people loved that. Thank God. Although they were brief showers, it managed to cool down the entire area for the rest of the evening. Yeah, so that's cool. People ran back and forth, jumping up and down, yelping. A group of boys took over one of the food tents in the camping area and distributed its contents to passerbys. Yeah, the poor girl at the tent was helpless, so she joined the crowd. But yeah, like, people just kind of were like, you know, they were taking over, and like, they're just, man, people were just so happy it rained. And then, like, people were like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to take over this thing, passing out food to people. People need food. And, like, the girl who was in the tent, she said, this is the best time I've ever had. So people had really good time. And that's the thing. A lot of the documentaries that are out there, they talk a lot of crap about Woodstock 99. And there was a lot of crap. And I've been talking a lot of crap about Woodstock 99. But there's a very big portion of the people who went to Woodstock 99 who had a great time. Like, a really good time. Like, every survivor story that appears on Podcast 99, there's only been a couple that are really, really negative experiences. Most of them are good times. People had a good time, but people also had, like, then there's a lot of people who had a really bad time. And, like, Woodstock's always painted as, Woodstock 99, sorry, it's always painted as this horrendous thing. No one had a good time. Everyone hated everything. No. A lot of people really liked the festival and had fun. But there's a lot of people who didn't as well. So that, obviously, since it's media, they try to, like, you know, give the negative. It's always about the negative with news. It's never positive. Like, sure, there is a lot of negatives, like sexual assault, all that, very, very, very negative. The water bottles and lack of water, negative. Porta potties being overflowed, negative. Music, positive. The experience, positive. Well, not the experience, but like a lot of people had positive experiences. Like it. There's a lot of negatives, but there's also some positives for this festival. So they never look at the positives because all they see at the end is Woodstock 99, fire, riot, sexual assault. But there's also a lot of Woodstock 99, good music, good vibes, fun. Like, people had fun there. I'm not saying everyone had fun, but I'm not trying to defend and, make a... I'm just trying to say that the organization's the problem. Okay, there you go. Did I say that already? Alright. Cher announced that all is well. The promoters were already discussing the success of the festival at 6 p.m. They said the wall wouldn't hold, and it did. Obviously, that's a lie, though. They said security wouldn't work, and it did. Well, that was also a lie. But, yeah. Whoever was working, they wanted the press to be like, yeah, all is well, don't worry, everything's fine. But really, it wasn't. Of course, the wall had been long breached, and the concert was far from over. Around 7 p.m., as Ice Cube unleashed a brutal version of F the Police, a thick line of thunderheads approached from the northeast. The sky turned a deep violet blue, lightning danced. So, yeah. Fun little... this is going to be the last song. So, fun little fact. In Creed's set, since I won't be talking about Creed, in Creed's set, someone drove a stolen Mercedes-Benz through one of the gaping maws in the Peace Wall, right up to the sound tower, about 80 yards from the stage, and ditched it. A 21-year-old security guard reported to work Friday to find himself suddenly promoted to supervisor, got on top of the car, and tried to stop the mob from rocking it back and forth. he was unfortunately hit with bottles and fists from all sides. So yeah, there's a couple famous photos where there's just a random Mercedes-Benz sitting in the crowd. Well, that's from during Creed's set. Someone drove that Mercedes-Benz right into the crowd and ditched it. And then the security guard tried to stop people from rocking it, and well, that didn't work either. So people are getting people are starting to get a little drunk again. But I think that's where I'm going to leave it, because the next thing up is the Chili Peppers at 8:40. So that's where I'm going to leave it off for you. My battery's going to die on my phone. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for tuning in. Woodstock 99's not over yet, but we're getting pretty close, and I hope you enjoy these last couple episodes, because once it's done, I'm not going to talk about Woodstock 99 anymore. I love Woodstock 99. That's okay. We're going to talk about Woodstock 94 in a couple weeks. I'm not going to do it next week. I'm going to do it in a couple weeks, maybe like a month away or something like that. Just so, it'll be like a series, couple weeks, and then I'll put it into like a playlist, and if you want to watch it, you can watch the whole playlist and stuff like that. And then the rest will go on music record. And anyways, it's going to be fun. So anyways, have a good day. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoy everything life has to bring you and life has to offer. And yeah, enjoy the videos, and thanks for tuning in. And I'm just going to stop talking, because my endings just take too long to stop. So I'm just going to stop. Okay? Goodbye. Have a good day, and peace with all of you.